Today 2K dropped their final set of heroic packs. You can see in them they've got this new Dark Matter Tim Duncan. They've got all the hero and playoff cards in here. They've also got this Dark Matter JR Smith. He does in fact have a hero version, which is going to be the final card you need to lock in for Dark Matter hero Chet, who's going to be insane. They've also got, there's so many Dark Matters in here. You can see they've got the hero opals as well, like they got this new Brian Scalabrine opal. And today I'm going to be showing you guys the best Snipe filters you can use to pick up these cards for cheap and make loads of MT. For the first filter, it's super simple. You just want to set your max buyout to 500 MT. This filter is going to be a really good filter for picking up cards quickly, as there's one pops up there. Can I get that in time? Yes, I do actually get that. A Sapphire Nick Claxton, he'd be going for at least 1000 MT, so I should be making a couple hundred MT on that at least. Some cards you can see on this filter can be going for upwards of like 5000 MT, so you can see some really good pickups on this filter. It's a great way to start when you're starting off the game to make quick MT. As you can see right now, I don't have a ton of MT, so that'll be helpful at least. But yeah, this is definitely going to be good for making quick MT. As you can see, the new hero Brian Scalabrine opal is actually going to be the cheapest opal heroic card. You can see there's one here going for as low as 6600 MT, so he's going to be quite cheap at the moment. He's definitely a cheap card, but for this filter you want to set your color to Galaxy Opal, theme to heroic, and then your max buy you'll probably want to make 5k just to be safe. You can actually see really good cards on this filter, some really solid opals to add to your team. You honestly could be seeing so many different cards. There's going to be a lot of heroic cards in the game right now. The pink diamond heroic filter hasn't been great. I know they're super cheap right now, the heroic cards, and you can't actually specifically snipe the hero cards either, like all of them at once. So this is probably the best filter you want to be using to pick up some good cards at the moment. I mean, this is going to be pretty cheap, these cards. Like, if you can get them for 5k, definitely could, depending on what ones you can snipe. You can be making quite a few thousand MT per snipe. And I mean, some of these cards are definitely going to be really good additions to your team. As you can see, the cheapest Brian Scalabrine hero cards are actually going for about 100,000 MT. You can see most of them haven't sold yet. Like, this one's been up for almost an hour and is still at 100k. This is going to be an interesting filter for sure, but for this filter you want to see a color to opal, theme to hero Brian Scalabrine. Make sure it's not heroic, make sure it's on hero. And then for your max buyer, honestly, I'd say put it at like 90k, maybe even lower than that. You might want to make it like 85k, as who knows how cheap people are going to post them up soon, considering they're at 100k right now and nobody's buying them. So 85k might be a good amount to try and see a snipe. Someone might end up posting it up for like 10k thinking it's the heroic version. So this could honestly be a really good filter to pick up some, make a ton of MT. As you can see, Dark Matters are still going for a ton of MT right now. This Jamal Murray is actually 100k and hasn't sold. The only Dark Matters I'd be avoiding are probably some heroic ones like this Manu Ginobili. You're probably barely going to be making 10k if you can snipe this card. A lot of Dark Matters are going for a ton of MT. You want to make sure also to avoid playoff ones. Like this Bam will probably only end up going for like 110k as well. You can see heaps of playoff Dark Matters. Like this Desmond Bain is so cheap. He's like 25k buyout sometimes. So some of these Dark Matter playoff ones are going to be super cheap. But if it's not a Dark Matter playoff card, then you're probably going to want to try and snipe it on this filter. But for this filter, you want to set your color to Dark Matter. And then make sure to set your max buy probably like 100k. The problem is you're going to have to probably, if you want, pick up some of these Dark Matter playoff cards to filter them out. You can see, look how cheap some of these cards are going for. This filter's not really going to be great anymore. So if you really wanted, you could just set to a specific theme. For example, you might want to set your theme to Titans instead of having all Dark Matters, because obviously the playoff ones are super annoying. But I mean, any card that's not some heroic cards and all playoff cards, you should be making a ton of MT. This is probably going to be the best way, just to go on a specific set to try and do it. Or if you already have some existing MT, then I'd recommend you definitely go and scoop up those playoff cards and then set it on the enabled filter, so then that way they're out of the way when you're trying to snipe. So then you don't end up sniping a card that's worth like 20k for 100k. I hope you guys found these snipe filters useful. If you did, subscribe, and I'll see you guys all in the next video.